One forgotten account triggered a breach that cost a tech giant millions before anyone realized the danger was already inside. At 2:14 a.m., the dashboard blinked red. One alert became 3, then 12. Analysts whispered urgent questions nobody wanted to ask. Outside the server room, the city slept, unaware that data and trust were quietly unraveling. Months earlier, Maya had noticed something unusual, not dramatic, not suspicious at first glance, just a small, consistent anomaly. Accounts behaving oddly, approvals mismatched, a pattern invisible to anyone who trusted the green dashboard. The company was massive. Global users, internal tools, sensitive credentials, and years of customer trust. They sold speed, convenience, and confidence. Behind the polished interfaces, confidence strained quietly, waiting for the first crack to widen unnoticed. Employees logged in to clean interfaces, bright dashboards, green lights, and automated alerts. Everything looked calm, normal, orderly. Ordinary calm, the kind that masks danger. Most employees did not question it. Maya did. Maya worked in risk operations, often overlooked in meetings and silently undervalued during product launches. She was careful, observant, and annoyingly stubborn about patterns that felt wrong. Her strategy was simple, but patient. She compared logs, timelines, approvals, and access changes. She documented anomalies carefully. Her evidence spoke in numbers, dates, and permissions, not assumptions or drama. She understood what speaking up meant. Slowed projects, annoyed managers, whispers in the hallway. She hesitated, recalibrated, but persisted. Ethical duty outweighed discomfort. Maya's persistence became the story's quiet engine. Small exceptions accumulated. Temporary access became permanent. Emergency permissions became routine. Dashboards never screamed, and alerts were polite. The system failed quietly, efficiently, and invisibly. Maya noticed unusual login patterns. Some accounts accessed sensitive tools at odd hours. Data moved in ways technically allowed but morally dubious. Minor permissions became a chain of potential catastrophe. She raised questions with her manager. First answers were confident, then vague, then dismissive. Legacy workflow, said her manager. Corporate shorthand for please stop. Maya ignored the warning and continued documenting evidence. Patterns became clearer. Forgotten accounts, misassigned permissions, inconsistent approvals. Small anomalies coalesced into a structural insight. The system's architecture was silently flawed. Her report moved slowly through management. Security asked for logs. Legal requested careful wording. Engineering wanted reproduction steps. Weeks felt like months, every delay adding urgency. Anxiety layered onto determination. She worked nights, reviewing records while colleagues slept, or worked on visible deadlines. Each overlooked detail became a clue. Each ignored alert, a potential catastrophe. Stress was quiet but constant, a shadow in the glow of her monitor. Then came the night the alerts could no longer be ignored. Routine became an emergency. The calm green dashboard sweated red blinking lights. Analysts opened incident rooms. Executives demanded impact estimates. The problem became real. The breach was not clever hacking. It was knowing the system better than the company did. Security assumed engineering owned cleanup. Engineering assumed operations monitored access. Operations assumed automation caught abuse. Each assumption magnified invisible risk. Maya's documentation revealed the unseen pathways. She saw what attackers exploited. Gaps legal to cross, gaps no one had corrected, weak oversight, dormant accounts, and mismatched ownership. Small, legal, morally gray holes created a massive opportunity. Modern systems fail between teams, processes, and assumptions, not with a bang, but in the relay race where the baton was dropped 3 laps ago. Neglect, distraction, and misplaced trust amplify vulnerabilities. The human element is critical. Policies exist, tools exist, monitoring exists, but culture decides whether warnings are heeded. Maya understood this, and that understanding made all the difference. Maya prepared a 10-minute briefing for senior leadership. Evidence, not panic. Permissions, gaps, anomalies, presented clearly and neutrally. One wrong phrase could trigger defensiveness. One right phrase could prevent further disaster. Her hands shook slightly as she logged into the call. Not fear, but the weight of responsibility. Every detail she had recorded could influence decisions affecting millions of users and millions of dollars. Leadership asked tough questions. How long had this been happening? Were customers affected? Could the breach have been prevented? Maya answered precisely, her voice steady despite inner tension. The breach became tangible. Alerts multiplied. Incident response rooms filled. Analysts scrambled. Engineers traced connections frantically. Every second mattered. The quiet gaps Maya had noticed now roared in urgency. Customer data moved. Notifications had to be prepared. Regulators were called. Stock prices wavered. Media prepared headlines. Maya's diligence had become a lifeline for containing damage, but the scope of risk was terrifying. Changes followed quickly. Old accounts removed. Ownership clarified. Access reviewed systematically. Monitoring became proactive. Internal reporting channels were reworked. The company learned, finally, that accountability must be visible, consistent, and human. Maya did not become a celebrity. There were no cinematic accolades, no applause in the server room. But her work shifted the narrative. Without her persistence, the breach might have been explained solely as an external attack. The organization realized that speed without control is dangerous. Permissions are not background noise, they are active risk. Every account, token, and role must have clear ownership. Culture matters as much as technology. The breach became a case study. Companies worldwide scrutinized access controls, dormant accounts, and internal ownership. Tools alone do not secure systems. Culture, documentation, and ethical vigilance do. Executives learned the hard way. Trust without verification is dangerous. Security is not a department. It is a behavior across the entire organization. Ignored warnings, polite dashboards, and assumed responsibilities create expensive consequences. Maya's case highlighted that breaches are often biographies of organizations, not just cyber attacks. They reveal what a company values when nobody is looking. Patterns of neglect can be as damaging as active sabotage. Maya's story demonstrates the importance of vigilance, ethical responsibility, and attention to detail. Small gaps, if ignored, magnify into catastrophic failures. Security is both technical and human. Culture and accountability prevent disasters. Organizations must treat internal controls as living systems, not dusty policies. Policies, monitoring, and dashboards must be complemented by curiosity, verification, and ethical courage. If this story reshapes how you see technology, subscribe. Discuss these lessons with colleagues, peers, and friends. Share responsibly. And always remember, the smallest exceptions are where the biggest stories often begin.